Hi and welcome to my channel. A bit of a different video this week. I am going to be doing a sketchbook tour but without a sketchbook. The art that I do, I never really used a sketchbook before. I just would have picked a subject and drew it and transferred it over onto a larger piece of velour, so I never had the need of a sketchbook. I never actually saw the point in using a sketchbook. So I'm just going to show you some art that I have done over the years and I hope you enjoy. Starting with a cheetah on pastel mat in pastel pencils. I completed this in 2015. Halfway through this piece I thought it would have been better if I had added a little something just in front of its snout, muzzle. Just something for it to focus on, but I didn't leave enough space. So yeah, that was a bit of a bummer. I should have planned it out. The photograph was by Tambeco the Jaguar and I got it off of Flickr. The next piece is a close-up of a land cub completed in 2018 using a photo reference by Mel Dorrington. I liked this composition and how you could see the little cub's lips and the close-up of its nose and the way that its eyes are looking up, kind of like it was looking up into the sky. I think this is one of the best pieces that I've done throughout the years. Next is a jaguar cub lying in the grass, completed on velour in 2017. This is where I tried adding things to my art instead of just focusing on head studies or portraits of animals. I think it turned out okay. I did like the grass, but I think for a first go, I think it turned out okay. I really loved the eyes on this one as well. Next is a cougar cub done on velour in pastels again in 2014. The eyes were a really lovely blue, but I think I could have worked more on the shading in the ears. I think they were a little bit too pink and not realistic enough. The only thing that I really liked about this was the eyes, basically. Next is a leopard juvenile done in 2017. This is another one that I thought would have been great to have something right in front of it to focus on, like a dung beetle or something, I thought. But yeah, I didn't leave enough space. The background, the background fur, I just couldn't seem to get it to come together. Also the fur on the top of the back. So I just left it. If I was getting it framed, I would have just had it basically cropped out. This leopard was done also in 2017 on velour in pastels, and I really liked the composition of this. To me, it was like it was looking out of a tree at something off in the distance and was getting ready to pounce. So yeah, I like that sort of composition. I also did it in coloured pencil as well, but I seem to again have lost that piece of art. This mother and tiger was done in 2013 and to me it looks totally off. You can see when I've drawn it originally, before I transferred it to the velour, that everything is not to proportion. The ears are too small, the forehead's too big, the eyes are too close together. Yeah, it's just all wrong. But I remember at the time, I wanted to show where I could draw something with eyes, but also draw an animal with eyes closed, having something that you wouldn't basically focus on, because everybody seemed to focus on the eye, so I wanted to have a closed eye. But yeah, I don't like this one at all. Here's another little tiger cub on velour with pastel pencils again. I really liked the eyes on this, where going over it and looking at it again, the ears aren't the best. But yeah, that was years ago, and I really liked this at the time. I wanted the focus to be totally on the face and not on the back or on the front. So I tried to make the fur in the surrounding area a little bit more blurry. I think I achieved that a little bit so that the focus was totally on the face. This is a hair in pastel on velour again, and I wanted to go for like a bokeh, or is it bokeh, like a blurry background, and have the hair sitting in daisies, and another sort of purpley flower. I don't know what the name of the flower is, but I love hers, and I really wanted to basically put it into a setting. And I did. I really liked this one, although it isn't that realistic. Now, this is another tiger on velour, and I started to colour in backgrounds and things. But looking at it now, to me, the eyes are too close together. It also looks as if it is looking at something in the foreground. But yeah, having a look at it now, over the years, the eyes are too close together. I just love doing this wee hair. The background, I crumbled up all the pastel and just kind of pushed it into the velour and thought it gave like a fireworky sort of background. The fox is like the other hair. I wanted to have it sitting in a field of flowers. I think the fox was great, but I'm not too sure about the flowers themselves. I tried to go for the bokeh background again, and daisies and a wee purpley bluey flower, but yeah. This tiger I completed in, I think, 2018, and it was, I think, one of the first posts that I posted to Instagram. I wanted to go like a dark background, and those were twigs and things, and having the breath kind of coming out of the mouth and making it kind of blend then onto the background, give it that like cold feel. Looking at the outside and things here, you can see it's really messy. Sometimes pastel can be like really messy. This little blue tit I did in 2018 with a photograph by Bob Barton. It's basically just a little blue tit, and I did it on pastel mat in pastel pencils, and it is basically just clinging to like a branch. This was one of the first things that I did in pencil, of a Labrador and a pheasant. And this little tiger I did in 2018, and I really liked the way that it looked. I really loved doing this one. I think I actually did two of this. I really liked the way the fur worked, and I don't know, I just think it's really lovely. The eyes were nice, although I think it took me quite a while to do, but I think it turned out great. This is a mixed media hair. I just wanted to try like a little bit different. I used pastel and watercolour and salt, and just basically played around with all those. And oh God, no, I do like this one. I think it's all right. So the next one is a challenge that was done on a photographer's site, where you got two pictures and you put them both together to come up with one basic composition. And yeah, I really like this. I wanted to try to give the sense that the sunlight was shining through the leaves. Now, I don't know whether I achieved that or not, but yeah, I did like this. This is a hair that I tried to complete in pencil again. This one took me, just to have that bit of section done, it took me hours to do, and using the pencils really hurt, it really hurt my hand and it was aching, the same as the kingfisher there as well. This is another hair that I done on pastel matte in pastel pencil, and I really like this one. I just never have finished it, and I really need to, because as I say, yeah, I really like this. I like the way the eye has been done, and I really love those little purple flowers. So I just need to maybe knuckle down one day and get the side of it done. I really like the greens and the purples and the browns. I just think it looks really good. Now, the next one is one of my absolute favourites. I did it in 2014, and it was to commemorate 100 years since the beginning of World War One. Now, I took the soldier and I used the monument of the cenotaph, I think it is, in Enniskillen, and just did like a little sunset. But you can see all the details here. You can also see that with velour, everything sticks to it. Every hair, it just sticks to it, and it's really hard to basically try to keep clean. Now, this is a cow. I do little small, like A5 sized cows, and I wanted to do a bigger one. So this is pastel on pastel matte. Now this, I started to, the next few are like portraits that I've done. Now this is a self-portrait of me, and I got this using a phone filter, and I really liked the way that this turned out. So I then did another one, and this was done in 2018. This was my daughter, and I again used a phone filter on that, where I just took a photograph and of her with a filter on it, and the wee butterflies and everything. I just like the colours and everything in this, and it really made her eyes stand up. Then this is a little photograph that I did of a little painting I did of Prince George in 2015, trying to get the look of his little knitted sweater. I liked his little cheeks and his eyes, but I think his eyes is maybe just a little bit too dark around, like the outside. His skin looks a little bit dark, but this was where I was teaching myself how to do portraits. And lastly, this is Samantha with a pearl earring, and my daughter absolutely hates this. She thinks it's dead cringy, but I really loved it. And again, I like the way the blues then and the background make her eyes pop. She has a really lovely coloured eyes, and I really liked this. I could have maybe give it a bit more shading around the side of her face to show, the shadows there. I really hope you enjoyed that video and liked seeing the art that I had created over the years. If you could maybe like the video and maybe think about subscribing, that would be great. And I will hopefully see you in the next video. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.